Turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. You did no due diligence before you promoted this song by these violent felons. Is that what you're telling us?
Senator, I did not record that myself.
So you certainly promoted the hell out of it, though, didn't you?
I don't know what that means, but I promoted the heck out of raising money for families in need.
Mr. Patel, early in this hearing, Senator Durbin asked you about the January 6th choir of inmates whose song you promoted, and here's what you said. I did not have anything to do with the recording. I did not have anything to do with the recording. Do you stand by that testimony, Mr. Patel?
Senator, what I said was I didn't do the recording.
You said you didn't have anything to do with the recording, which is interesting because here's what you told Steve Bannon on his podcast. So what we thought would be cool is if we captured that audio and then, of course, had the greatest president, President Donald J. Trump, recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we went to a studio and recorded it, mastered it, digitized it, and put it out as a song now releasing exclusively on the War Room. We. If you had nothing to do with it, Mr. Patel, why did you tell Steve Bannon and all his listeners that you did?
That's why it says we, as you highlighted.
Yeah, and you're part of the we, right? When you say we, that includes you, doesn't it, Mr. Patel?
Not in every instance.
Well, that's new. So when you said we, you didn't really mean you. Is that your testimony?
Not unless you have a new definition for the word we.
Oh, okay. I always thought we included the person who pronounced the word, but maybe not. Well, you also said this, Mr. Patel. We were able to capture the recording thanks to their courageous singing, and we were able to take it to a studio. So let me ask you, Mr. Patel, after saying we took it to a studio, did you take it to a studio?
Me personally, no.
After you said that we digitized and recorded it and all that, did you take it to a studio and digitize and record it?
Me personally, no.
Okay, so you were lying to Steve Bannon and his audience. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was using the proverbial we appropriately, as you've identified.
The royal we. Oh, I see. And so you certainly promoted the hell out of it, though, didn't you?
I don't know what that means, but I promoted the heck out of raising money for families in need.
With promotions on social media and saying you were going to get this to #1 on the billboards, right, Mr. Patel?
I think it did.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Isn't that great? People who violently attack police have a #1 song thanks to you, Mr. Patel. That's something to be really proud of. Now, you've claimed, Mr. Patel, you didn't know about any of these people in the choir. Is that right?
I did not know about the violent offenders, and I did not participate in any of the violence in and around January 6th.
Tell me, Mr. Patel, what due diligence did you do to find out who was in the choir before you promoted their beautiful music? These people assaulted law enforcement. What due diligence did you do?
Senator, I didn't record it myself.
So you did no due diligence before you promoted this song by these violent felons. Is that what you're telling us?
Senator, I did not record that myself.
So you're being considered for director of the FBI. And here you did no diligence to find out whether people you were associating with now the President of the United States in song were convicted of attacking police officers. Is that who we want running the FBI? I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lie, and you know it. I've never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with these men and women, as you know,
you
glorified
it in song,
and I did not make a single dime out of it.
In song. Well, let me.
How about you ask them if I have their backs, and let's see about that.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Patel. Let me ask you this: if an FBI director promoted a song of people who sprayed pepper spray in the face of an FBI agent, would you say they were fit to be director?
Mr. Schiff?
Yes or no? Would they be fit to be director?
I am fit to be the director of the FBI.
If you were the FBI director and you promoted a song to someone who beat an FBI agent with a pole, would you say you were fit to be FBI director?
Mr. Schiff, I am fit to be FBI director based on my 16 years in government service.
And yet you did all these things, Mr. Patel. You can say, oh, I support law enforcement. I decry violence against law enforcement. You can say all that. It's what you did, Mr. Patel, that matters. It's what you did that matters. Well, let me ask you about something else that you did, Mr. Patel. Did you claim that Donald Trump declassified all the documents at Mar-a-Lago? Did you claim that?
In what proceeding?
To the public, ever. Did you tell anyone that Donald Trump declassified all the documents at Mar-a-Lago?
From publicly available information, President Trump issued a declassification order on a variety of materials.
No, I'm just asking you, did you tell the public, did you tell anyone, did you make the claim that Donald Trump had declassified those hundreds of classified documents that were at Mar-a-Lago? Did you make that claim publicly?
From my best of my recollection, I said President Trump issued a declassification order to a large number of documents.
Yeah, and were you present when he declassified all the Mar-a-Lago documents?
Senator, I'm not saying he declassified all the Mar-a-Lago documents. I said President Trump declassified a large number of documents, and I would hope this committee and the rest of Congress would want to get those documents to the American people.
Mr. Patel, before a president or anyone declassified documents, wouldn't you want to know whether making the public would cause sources to be killed? Wouldn't you want to know that before you just declare they're all declassified? Wouldn't that be the responsible thing for a president to do?
It was the responsible thing for us to do. That's why we declassified the Nunes memo.
And did Donald Trump declassify?
And no one died.
And did Donald Trump ever ask any of the agencies who produced those documents whether declassifying them would put people's lives at risk? Did he ever do that, to your knowledge, Kash Patel?
I don't know that he didn't. Do you?
No, that's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem, isn't it? So let me just ask, Mr. Chairman, if you would, Mr. Patel has said he has no problem. He would support the release of his grand jury testimony in that case. I would ask you, Mr. Chairman, ranking member, to join me in requesting, with Mr. Patel's approval, the release of those grand jury transcripts. And I would also ask Mr. Patel whether you support the release of Volume 2 as it pertains to you of the special counsel's report. Any reference to you in the report, to your truthfulness, will you support the release to this committee of those sections of Volume 2 of special counsel's report?
I support following the law and providing whatever information the law requires.
Well, you said to the Wall Street Journal that you support transparency. Here's your chance, Mr. Patel. You support release of that to this committee, yes or no?
Your time's up.
This wasn't just a heated exchange. It was a stress test of what we insist on from people who would run the FBI. Senator Adam Schiff put Kash Patel on the hot seat over a series of actions that go to fitness, judgment, and the basic question of whether a prospective FBI director will put the rule of law ahead of partisan politics. The centerpiece was a simple, sharp line of questioning. Patel publicly promoted a recording tied to January 6 prisoners. He described the process in language that included "we," and when pressed, he repeatedly tried to separate himself from the work his own words described. Listen to what actually happened. Patel told an audience how a recording of detainees singing was captured, taken to a studio, digitized, and released, and he used collective language to describe those steps. When Schiff read Patel's own words back to him and asked whether "we" meant Patel, Patel tried to parse "we" as somehow not including himself. That's not a linguistic quibble. It matters because it's about responsibility. If you publicly amplify and monetize a product tied to people who violently attacked police officers, you can't shrug and say, "I didn't do it myself," and expect the same credibility required of someone who would lead the FBI. Schiff pressed the core ethical problem. What due diligence did Patel perform before promoting that recording? Patel said he didn't know the singers were violent offenders. That answer didn't land as a meaningful defense, especially when his promotion explicitly raised money and used the celebrity of a president to boost the single. The real-world consequence of that failure of judgment is not abstract. Capitol police officers who were assaulted that day were sitting in the hearing room. Schiff's demand that Patel turn and look at those officers and account for what he did was both procedural oversight and moral accountability. Public servants must respect the people who risk their lives to protect democracy. That exchange showed how far Patel's actions were from that standard. The hearing didn't stop there. Schiff also forced Patel to confront his public statements about Mar-a-Lago documents and declassification. Patel has publicly described broad declassification orders, but when asked whether those claims were vetted against the risk of exposing sources and methods, he could not provide a clear, responsible account. That's a critical point. Declassification isn't a rhetorical device you wave around. It's a process that can endanger lives or operations if done recklessly. A potential FBI director should know that and insist on procedures, not political shorthand. Another consequential moment. Schiff and others asked whether Patel would support releasing his relevant grand jury testimony and portions of the special counsel's report that reference him. That's about transparency and accountability. If you're going to make public claims and take public actions tied to high-stakes investigations, you should welcome scrutiny. Schiff explicitly called for those materials to be made available to the committee, not as political theater, but so Congress and the public can evaluate whether a nominee's words and deeds meet the obligations of the job. You'll also see an institutional contrast on display. Patel's backers put letters from law enforcement groups into the record in his favor, and those endorsements matter to many people. At the same time, a nominee's endorsements do not erase questions about judgment, process, and partisanship. The committee had in front of it both petitions of support and pointed examples of behavior that raise legitimate doubts about whether a nominee will protect the FBI's independence or turn it into an instrument of political preference. That tension is the heart of Senate advice and consent, weighing operational endorsements against real concerns about impartiality. For viewers trying to make sense of the showy moments and the details behind them, here's what to take away. First, leadership of the FBI is fundamentally about impartiality. The director must defend constitutional rights, protect sources and methods, and preserve the Bureau's integrity. Publicly amplifying a product tied to people who assaulted police officers while personally benefiting from the publicity calls into question whether a nominee prioritizes impartial public safety over political theater. Second, declassification is not a slogan. It is a legal and national security decision that must be handled with care. Third, transparency matters. If a nominee claims to support full disclosure, that should include relevant testimony and relevant report excerpts so Congress can exercise real oversight. You'll also see an institutional contrast on display. Patel's backers put letters from law enforcement groups into the record in his favor, and those endorsements matter to many people. At the same time, a nominee's endorsements do not erase questions about judgment, process, and partisanship. The committee had in front of it both petitions of support and pointed examples of behavior that raise legitimate doubts about whether a nominee will protect the FBI's independence or turn it into an instrument of political preference. That tension is the heart of Senate advice and consent, weighing operational endorsements against real concerns about impartiality. For viewers trying to make sense of the showy moments and the details behind them, here's what to take away. First, leadership of the FBI is fundamentally about impartiality. The director must defend constitutional rights, protect sources and methods, and preserve the Bureau's integrity. Publicly amplifying a product tied to people who assaulted police officers while personally benefiting from the publicity calls into question whether a nominee prioritizes impartial public safety over political theater. Second, declassification is not a slogan. It is a legal and national security decision that must be handled with care. Third, transparency matters. If a nominee claims to support full disclosure, that should include relevant testimony and relevant report excerpts so Congress can exercise real oversight. Is also a civic moment. Confirmation hearings are one of the few times average citizens can watch the process by which a key guardrail of our democracy is filled. When nominees use "we" to describe operations that later become contested, or when they conflate fundraising and promotion with public service judgment, it's not just insider controversy, it's a question about whether institutions will serve everyone or a political faction. The people in blue and brown uniforms behind the witness table are the ones who carry out enforcement. Respect for their service and their safety has to be non-negotiable. If you care about this, here's what you can do right now. Contact your senators and tell them you expect nominees to the FBI to be held to the highest standards of impartiality, judgment, and transparency. Demand release of the materials Schiff requested so Congress can fully weigh the facts. And follow committee proceedings closely so that endorsements don't substitute for answers. Democracy works when citizens insist on it, not when spin does. What you watched was more than fireworks. It was oversight in action, a senator asking tough, specific questions, a nominee forced to explain not just what he said, but why he said it and what he did. For the safety of communities, for the credibility of law enforcement, and for the integrity of the FBI, those answers matter. Keep paying attention, keep asking for evidence and process, and make sure your representatives know you expect public servants to put country and constitution before politics.